Oh, he's got tattoos? That's a red flag. His tattoos make me horny. He's got 3 kids by 3 different women? Not for me. I wonder if he wants another baby mama. I heard he's a player. No way I'd get with him. Players are hot. If he can't respond to my texts, he can't be my boyfriend. Actually, that's a turn on, because I know he's busy doing other shit. If he thinks he can tell me what to do, him. Okay, it makes me mad, but it's kinda hot, because I know he's not afraid of me.
An ironclad rule of today's dating market is that a woman's red flags are a man's green flags. In other words, if something disqualifies her for a long-term relationship with him, that same thing qualifies him for every kind of relationship with her. Short-term, long-term, and everything in between. A woman with tattoos, multiple kids by multiple men, a drinking problem, does drugs, has daddy issues, sleeps around, is a liar, who smokes, doesn't respond to texts, and is a bossy bitch is automatically disqualified for anything outside of a one-night stand or casual buddy arrangement. Never allow a woman to convince you that your red flags make you unattractive. It is quite literally the opposite.
If he's a Catholic, deal breaker. Glory to God in the highest, and peace to his people on earth. I can't date an atheist. If he says there's no God, then there is no God. He's a Trump supporter? Ugh, barf. Make America great again, baby. He voted for Obama? See ya. Obama is the greatest American in the history of America. Guys who listen to country music, disqualified. What? I love Garth Brooks. Rap music is a deal breaker. I got all of 50 songs on my phone. If his goals don't align with mine, I can't be with him. His goals are my goals. If he doesn't want kids, I can't waste my time with him. I will waste my time trying to convince him to have kids.
If a woman likes you enough, she will change whatever she has to in order to be with you. Her religious beliefs, her political allegiances, her music preferences, and even her stance on children. Granted, if a woman wants kids, she will try to change her mind. But eventually, she will have to make a choice between staying with you and remaining childless or pursuing another relationship with a man who actually wants children. Either way, she will do whatever it takes to keep you in her life. Have you ever wondered how women are always lying and cheating but never seem to get caught? Ever been dumped or served divorce papers out of the blue without warning? Have you ever been completely blindsided by the shocking discovery of your wife or girlfriend's cheating? Of course you have. We all have. Hi, I'm Donovan Sharpe, and I have a lifetime of experience with women. Some experiences were great, others not so much. I've been cheated on, lied to, taken advantage of, you name it, it's happened to me. Most men these days are completely clueless about how women communicate. As men, we tend to communicate overtly, meaning we say what we mean and we mean what we say. Women, on the other hand, communicate covertly, which means what they say and what they mean are often two very different things, and therein lies the problem. It's much more difficult to understand covert communication. And because women communicate covertly, it is often challenging, if not impossible, to read between the lines and decipher what they're really telling us. And guess what? Women know this. Worse yet, they know we don't know. And because of this, it is very easy for them to lie to, deceive, mislead, and manipulate us. So now the question is, how do we crack the code? How do we learn to decipher what women are really telling us so that we can act accordingly? Welcome to WOMANESE 101, what she says versus what she means. As someone who's fluent in WOMANESE, I will teach you how to interpret the statements women make. Not only will being fluent in WOMANESE make you much better with women, it will drastically reduce the odds of being taken advantage of by them. Everything from what they say in relationships, how they tell us they aren't interested in a sexual relationship, to how they tell us they're cheating on us, I will translate over 500 of the most common phrases that women use to mislead and deceive men. Like most men, I've had my share of heartbreak and frustrations with women. Probably a lot more than most if I'm being honest. But what these terrible experiences taught me was that you can never take what a woman says at face value. Remember, women communicate covertly, so what they say is almost never exactly what they mean. Never before has a course been created that gives men the raw, honest and difficult truth about what women really mean when they overtly communicate with us. Men have never been given a guide that completely decodes verbal communication in such a way that helps men understand a woman's words versus a woman's intentions. Thanks to WOMANESE, those days are over. WOMANESE 101 will give you the ability to translate what women are really saying with shocking accuracy. Plus, having this skill has utility outside of dating and relationships. This will help you at work, on social media, at church, even with family and friends. The possibilities are endless. From young hot girls to divorcees to MILFs and even cougars, you will always know what women of all ages, all races, and all backgrounds are really telling you when they are speaking to you. So pay attention, take notes, and enjoy the ride. You're about to separate yourself from 97% of men. Okay, let's introduce the women who are going to change your life. Meet the girls of WOMANESE. Each one of them will play two characters, Gretchen the good girl and Brianna the bad girl. Allow me to explain. Every woman's social conscience has two departments. One department knows the unfiltered truth. Brianna the bad girl will represent this department. The other department figures out a way to spin that truth in such a way that absolves her of any wrongdoing, sidesteps accountability, makes her the victim, and puts her in the best possible light. This department will be represented by Gretchen the good girl.
Here's an example.
Women do not like being held accountable for their bad decisions. So when you hear,
Don't judge me.
what they mean is,
Don't hold me accountable for my bad decisions.
throughout this course, the girls of WOMANESE and yours truly will educate you on cracking the female communication code. The girls will portray Gretchen, who will tell you what women want you to think. Then they will play Brianna, who will tell you the raw truth. Then I will summarize and explain context. This is how you will become fluent in WOMANESE.
You're not one of those shallow guys, are you? I'm shaming you into allowing me to get fat, but stay with me.
Girls ask this all the time because they know that maintaining their girlish figure takes constant work. And because girls don't like to work for anything, much less a man's attention and commitment, they attempt to trick you into verbally lowering your physical standards. Then, when she gets fat and you dump her, she can say, "You said you weren't shallow." Your answer here is, aren't we all? 9 times out of 10, she'll nod in agreement.
I travel a lot for work. I use the traveling excuse to sleep with other guys.
Any woman who travels for work sleeps around, period. If she tells you she travels for work, she's telling you she's not girlfriend material. Act accordingly and just fuck her, nothing more.
I'm separated from my husband. I'm not separated, I'm just cheating.
Married women know that there are some men who won't fuck them if they know they're married. So they lie and say they're separated. I've plenty of wives, and most of them tell me they're either separated, about to be separated, or that they live in separate houses. This is almost never true. Wives are epic guys. Do not be fooled by the lies they tell you to make themselves feel better about cheating on their husbands.
My kids come first. I don't like you that much, so I'm using my kids as a screen.
When a woman tells you this, it always means that she's going to put you in the friend zone. Women are terrible mothers and act selfishly when nobody's looking. But if she's not turned on enough by you, she will preemptively activate the buffer she'll use to keep you at a distance. The guys they're behind their husbands' backs are never told, "My kids come first." Women make time for what they want, and if they want you, you'll never hear about her kids.
I've traveled to so many different countries. I've slept with a lot of guys in different countries.
Women are always epic when they travel, and age doesn't seem to matter. Whether she's a young, hot college girl on spring break, a married mother of 3 on a girls' trip, or cougars on their House Stella Got Her Groove Back trip, they take copious amounts of when they travel. It never fails. Any woman who's traveled with her girlfriends or alone has been by men around the world. A woman never belongs to you. It's just your turn. You lost your edge, she lost the traction for you. That's how it works. What'd you think she was gonna do? Tell you she cheated? Men cannot afford to get complacent in relationships. Get your fat ass off the couch, start lifting weights, and learn game. You're welcome.
And now your man, Donovan Sharpe.
What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to the 719th edition of TSR Primetime, your nightly dose of toxic masculinity. It is Monday, March 1st of 2021. It is good to have you in this evening. As always, we are streaming live to Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and of course in crystal clear 4K HD to Sharp Stream, available to patrons only at patreon.com/Donovan Sharpe. So however you're watching, wherever you're watching from, thank you for making the Sharpe Reality Primetime a part of your nightly routine. Hope everybody had a great weekend. My weekend was very, very busy. It was also very productive. Had a great cryptocurrency show on Saturday night. And that podcast actually on Saturday night, that actually has the most views of any crypto Oasis podcast we've done this season. So clearly we are making progress there. Weights and Dates was really good because I finally got the graphics to work, but most importantly, I got the sound to work. So make sure you guys go and check that out. And of course, the 6 last night was absolutely popping. The 6 was popping. Yeah, there we go. Let me get out of there. Perfect. Okay. The 6 was popping. Was a great episode. Fantastic discussion. I guess I'll go ahead and just, for those of you who didn't watch yesterday, I made the announcement yesterday that Kevin Samuels is no longer on the panel simply because he doesn't have time. His life has drastically changed very, very quickly over a very, very short period of time. I mean, things have, dude. It's been an absolute whirlwind for Kevin Samuels, and pardon me. I mean, like, he is quite literally, like, he's been thrown into another dimension, man. Like, he is right now. He is arguably the biggest star on just about every platform there is. No, listen, nobody is not talking about Kevin Samuels. There are channels that have popped up that are solely dedicated to talking about him. There are entire communities discussing Kevin. He is all the rage on Clubhouse. He's all the rage on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. He's on mainstream media. They're talking about him on TV. They're probably even talking about him on Twitch. Everybody is talking about Kevin Samuels, man. Black people are talking about him. White people are talking about him. Celebrities. I mean, nobody doesn't know who he is. Kevin Samuels has quite literally become an industry. And because of this, his entire existence has changed completely. He is in an entirely new realm. So he had to completely rethink the way he moves in this arena. I can't imagine what his life must be like right now. But I do know this. I have a fraction of this dude's following. And I barely have enough time for anything outside of what I do here on TSR Primetime and other projects that I work on, right? Like, I'll make time for recreational activities like bowling league every Tuesday night, but that lasts, hour and a half? Devin and I will have a date night once a week here and there. But by and large, time is not a luxury a guy like me has right now relative to my short, my mid, and my long-term goals. I have 105,000 subscribers. Kevin has damn near 500,000. So imagine how little time he has these days, right? And listen, he tried to make time for the show. He really, really did. It was a concerted effort, but this new realm that he's in, unfortunately, does not afford a man more than 24 hours in a day. Like, he gets the same 24 hours as everyone else. So he has officially graduated from the 7 and is clearly moving on to bigger and better things. Kevin and I are good friends. We talk every day, sometimes 2 to 3 times a day. So obviously, like, our friendship obviously remains unchanged. But right now, man, that dude is on a rocket ship, and his priorities need to change. So congratulations on Kevin and his success. I remember having him back. I remember having him on way back in episode 141. So it is very, very cool to see him blow up like he has. It really, really is, man. He has never steered me the wrong way. He has given me sage advice through the years, and he has never not been right. So congrats to him. Big thanks goes out to Jesus Medina. Says, haha, changed my mind. I thought Louder with Crowder was part of the show for a second. Yeah. Tonight's show is going to be very, very interesting. Let me see. Oh, wait a minute. No, that's not it. Okay, perfect. All right, very good. So I do have the. All right, excellent. Perfect. So I'm glad I have that going on there. I've got the phone lines, the phone line screen all set and ready to go. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and get to and talk about the topic at hand. And I'm going to do something a little bit different this evening. I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to open up the phone lines. I'm going to open up the phone lines in just a few minutes. I usually don't open them until about the end of the show. But I want people who may disagree with me on certain elements to call in. No, I'm not trying to be Kevin Samuels. I could never, ever be Kevin Samuels. If I ever tried to be Kevin Samuels, I would be deplatformed. I do not have his kind of cool. But this is something that cannot be refuted. So I'm going to open up the phone lines here in a few minutes. Just keep watching the screen. When you see the phone number on your screen, that is when the phone lines are open. We're going to be double screening. Devin's going to screen you on the front side. I'm going to screen you on the back side. When you and I start our conversation, the audience will not hear you until I'm comfortable enough to bring you on the air. So I'm going to have you guys start calling it because this is a myth that needs to be debunked. And that myth is that men cheat more than women. When I hear women say that men cheat more than women, it makes me shake my head, number one. Number two, it confirms that women will say just about anything to cover up their true nature. It is so obvious. It is so obvious that they cheat more than we do. It's ridiculous. And for them to act like they think that we believe that they believe that men cheat more than women, that's par for the course for women. So tonight, I'm going to put this myth to bed by giving you guys two rock solid, stone cold, lead pipe, ironclad reasons that prove unequivocally, and I don't need studies or statistics, that not only do women cheat more than men, they cheat a lot more. Like the gap is substantial. I'm not trying to discuss statistics or facts. Not facts. I'm not trying to discuss statistics. We all know that statistics can be skewed to say anything you want. No, we're gonna talk straight facts. So here we go. Number one, the first of two reasons why women absolutely positively cheat a lot more than men is opportunity. Here are the facts, gentlemen. Women get more opportunities for bedroom fun than men do. It's not close. Below average and even unsightly women, below average, unsightly, how can I put this? Graphically challenged. Those women get sausage thrown at them every minute of every day. They get it thrown at them from the minute they wake up until the minute they go to sleep. Guys hit on them on the bus, at the bus stop, on the subway, at Starbucks, at work, at the laundromat, at restaurants, in chats, and of course, on social media. Girls get far more sexual attention than men do. And there are a few simple reasons for this. Number one, women are a lot more selective than men. The average woman wouldn't sleep with the average man. The below average woman wouldn't sleep with the average man. Hell, a lot of times, a below average woman wouldn't even sleep with a slightly above average man. That's how far we've fallen in today's dating market. Now, the reason that women are more selective than men, it's biological, right? They don't really think about it, but it's because there's much more risk for them when it comes to sex. Sex affects women more emotionally, physically, and reproductively a lot more than it affects men. Obviously, she can get pregnant. right? Even with hormonal birth control being able to prevent pregnancy until a woman wants to have kids, that doesn't turn off the firmware that says, hey, let's be a little bit more selective when we're picking guys to sleep with. The brain doesn't really, the body knows it's on birth control. The brain does not, right? The brain does not. The brain is still selective. It doesn't know why it's more selective. It's evolutionarily and biologically necessary for women to be more selective. Now, the emotional effect is obvious. Bedroom fun is far more emotional for women than it is for men. This is why women become attached so quickly, because the act of sex is emotional. Now, there is a caveat to this. A lot of that depends upon how much experience a woman has. Obviously, most women these days have been ran through. 304s won't become attached to most men they sleep with because most of the men they sleep with don't have anywhere near the body count they do. The lower the body count, the more quickly a person becomes attached. And this goes for both sexes. Right? Like, this is why a virginal female is pair bonded forever to the man who takes her virginity, so long as she doesn't sleep with anyone else, which, of course, we know almost never happens these days anyway. But a virginal female is always alpha widowed by the first guy she sleeps with because she has, or had, no sexual experience. The more bodies she collects, the longer it takes her to become attached to any particular guy she sleeps with. It's the same with men. The more sexual experience we have, the less attached we become. Now, the arc is a little bit different. It takes a woman much longer and a lot more bodies to slow down her process of becoming attached. Okay? Again, this is the reason for this is that sex is always more emotional for women. With men, it doesn't take quite as long and not nearly as many bodies because sex is less emotional. Relative to women, it doesn't take quite as long and as many bodies relative to women. So here's an example. And this is kind of an uneducated theory, and I'll do my best with the numbers here. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, that it takes a woman, I don't know, let's just say 25 bodies to start the deceleration of her attachment, right? It would take a man maybe 10 bodies to achieve that same deceleration. Again, men are far less invested emotionally in sex than women are. It's just how we're made. But this ratio is exactly why men get attached a lot more quickly than women do these days. The average woman has slept with a lot more men than the average man has slept with women. And because of this, his attachment rate is much faster because he has less experience. His attachment rate hasn't slowed down yet because he hasn't slept with enough girls, right? If this is attachment rate, this is experience. You got it? The more the experience, the slower the attachment rate. So now you guys are probably thinking, well, what about the girl who has a body count of 178? Can she never become attached because her body count is so high? And my first answer, guys, we're getting 50-mile-an-hour gusts outside, so if we go offline, that's why. I can actually hear the wind. So if we go offline, it's probably because of the 50-mile-an-hour gusts out there. Holy smokes. Phone lines are open, 516-387-1987, 516-387-1987. So what about the girl who has a body count of 178? Can she never become attached to a man because of her body count? Right? And my first answer to that question is if she told you 178, her count's probably closer to 871. My second answer is that she can become attached if the guy she is sleeping with has a lower, slower attachment rate. So if we take the ratio we used earlier, which was what? 2.5 to 1. Right? For every one body it takes to slow down a man's attachment rate, it takes a woman roughly 2.5 bodies to get the same deceleration. Then the 178 body count girl would need to be sleeping with a man who has slept with at least 71 women. That's the only way she could become attached. Well, How exactly does she become attached, Donovan? Simple. Simple. A man with a slow attachment rate, meaning he doesn't fall head over heels for a girl simply because they are sleeping together, is more attractive to women, right? He cares less. He texts less. He's less thirsty and so forth. Remember, guys, most men that women sleep with have an extremely quick attachment rate because of their lack of experience. But when a girl who's collected almost 200 bones runs up on a guy who cares less than she does and is extremely slow to attachment, she starts to become attached. Now, keep in mind, her attachment rate is still extremely slow. She's been smashed at least 178 times. But if his attachment rate is slower than hers, she will be the first to become attached. Also, in the same vein, as the lines are open, Dev, we need to start screening calls. A person's she's on it. A person's body count is reflected in their actions, and this is men and women. A woman with a high body count, she looks, she moves, and she acts in ways that a woman with a low body count does not. Yes, there are women with extremely high body counts who can mimic the behavior and the mannerisms of women with low body counts. But men who have experience, men who have a slow attachment rate, and RP awareness, we spot these women very, very quickly and act accordingly. But by and large, if you're paying attention, you will observe a discernible difference in the behaviors and habits of females with high body counts as opposed to low body counts. Well, it's the same with men. Men who have slept with a lot of women move and behave in ways that men who have slept with men who have little to no sexual experience do not. A man doesn't have to tell a woman he has experience with women. Women pick up on this very quickly. And just as a side note here, this is one of the main differences between men and women, right? All women can tell which men have experience with women. But the vast majority of men cannot tell the difference between women who have been ran through and women who have not. And to bring it full circle, the reason most women have a slower attachment rate than most men is because most women have higher body counts than most women. Hell, most women have slept with more women than most men. I'll say it again. Most women have slept with more women than most men. That's law number 42, the 49 laws of Sharpe. And so because we know women have far more bedroom experience, then it becomes plainly obvious that a big part of that reason is because the abundance of opportunity. Plus, it's a lot easier for women to get laid than it is for men to get laid. Anyone who doubts this, and I know I probably have like 3 women watching right now. Anyone who doubts this just needs to think of it this way. Just think of it this way. If we were to take an average man and an average woman and put them in a competition, just put them in New York City, right? And see who could sleep with the most people in 24 hours. Average man, average woman. Sleep with as many people as humanly possible in 24 hours and come back and tell us. Not only would the woman sleep with more men than the man sleeps with women, if any at all, the woman would probably sleep with more women as well. Dude, it is so easy for women to get laid, it's ridiculous. All they have to do is say yes. All they have to be is there and willing. That's it. For men, it is not that easy. Not even close. So the number one reason why women cheat more than men is that women get a lot more opportunities. Number 2. This is the one that is going, this is where we dunk. This is where we dunk on women here. And ladies, I want you to pay close attention. Women are not going to admit or acknowledge this, but this is 1,000% true. Okay. 1,000% true. The second reason that women 547% cheat more than men is that the men women are talking about in terms of the men who cheat more than women are the top 10%. Let me repeat that. The second reason why we know that women cheat more than men is that the men that women are talking about in terms of men who cheat more than women, top 10%. They're not talking about the bottom 90%, guys. They're not talking about the average man. No, they're talking about the top guys. You see, gentlemen, Social media and dating apps have made the average man invisible to the average woman. 90% of men are invisible to 90% of women. Those are the facts. Our culture tells below average women that they are entitled to the best men available. Why else do you think these tatted up 275-pound behemoths with 3 kids by 3 or 4 different men with these 416 item shopping lists of what they want in a man? Well, I'll tell you why. The world tells these broads that not only does beauty come in all sizes, but that all body types deserve one body type. You know, the 6'4", ripped, square-jawed body type. Women have been brainwashed with this nonsense for years. At some point, they internalize it, and they actually believe that even though they are weighing north of 3 bills, that they deserve Shamar Moore, Idris Elba, Chris Hemsworth, with a dash of Cristiano Ronaldo all rolled up into one. This mindset, gentlemen, automatically eliminates 90% of men. And when a woman subconsciously eliminates 90% of men, they immediately become invisible to them. The average man simply does not exist in the world of the average woman. And we see proof of this all around us every day. Most women actually believe that most men are 6 feet tall. They actually believe this. You could strap them to a lie detector test and they would pass it with flying colors because they truly believe that most men are 6 feet tall. Why? Because her mind has eliminated 90% of men. So when asked the question, how many men do you think are over 6 feet tall? Her brain isn't thinking about the entire population. Oh, no. Her brain is pulling the data from only the top 10% of men, not realizing that only 14% of American men are over 6 feet tall. Here's another one. Most women think that most men make 6 figures. And as ridiculous as that sounds, keep in mind, again, they're only thinking about the top 10% of men. They're not thinking about the bottom 90%. They're thinking about the top 10%. So when asked what percentage of men make 6 figures, she's going to say, well, just about all of them, right? Now, listen, let's digress a little bit, right? Let's not be so theatrical. Obviously, women aren't that stupid. Listen, women clearly understand that most men aren't over 6 feet tall. They understand that most men don't make 6 figures. But that does not mean that they still do not grossly overestimate the number of men who are 6 feet tall and above. This doesn't mean that the number of men who make 6 figures is a lot higher in their minds than the actual number in the real world. Women are under the impression that there are a lot more 10%ers out there in the world than there actually are. Like I said before, only 14% of American men are over 6 feet tall. And only 5% of American men make 6 figures or above. So when an average woman, or an average at best woman, says she wants a man over 6 feet who makes 6 figures, she doesn't realize that her mind has eliminated the average man from contention. She thinks that there are 6 foot, 6-figure niggas running around looking to wife up average at best women. This is the mindset that the vast majority of women in this country share. So when a woman says men cheat more than women, she ain't talking about the average man, guys. She isn't talking about the bottom 90% of men. No. She's talking about the top 10%. And guess what? The top 10% of men, they cheat a hell of a lot more than the bottom 90% of men. That's an immutable truth. Those are facts. And because our culture, the smartphone, social media, and dating apps have systematically eliminated the average man from the mind of the average woman in terms of dating and relationships, you now have an entire generation of women who actually believe in this day and age, where women rack up triple-digit notch counts in college, in this day and age,
where divorce is filed 80% of the time by women. In this day and age where paternity fraud is probably a lot more rampant than even we're aware of. When a woman can literally summon a dozen sausages to her exact location, married, in a relationship, or otherwise, in this day and age, in this environment, for women to actually believe that men cheat more than women clearly shows that they are only talking about the top 10% of men. And this is exactly why they will die on this hill. Their minds do not allow them to see all men. Feminism combined with the smartphone, social media, and dating apps for women, that's like the red pill for men. You see, once you're exposed to it, you can't unexpose yourself to it. You can't unsee the red pill any more than women can undo the damage that feminism, the smartphone, social media, and dating apps have done to women. The only time that women begin to see the entire population of men is when they have to. And even then, these men are still kind of invisible. Women cheat more than men. Change my mind. All right, let's read some super chats here, then we'll get to the phone lines quickly. Let's see, Tony Acasio. Tony Acasio with the $10 super chat says, hey, Donovan, in your opinion, do you think that older women and younger guys will be in monogamous relationships by law? There are more women in power now, and it's starting to be possible. Negative, Tony. They're not going to command older women to be with younger guys in monogamous relationships. I appreciate the super chat, Tony, but that, I don't know, was that a serious question? No, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Not going to happen. Stephen Ortiz, $5 says, I would say plus-size women have their own gravitational pull. Red Pill Mike with the $100 super chat. Appreciate that, my friend. Says, once in a blue moon, I will meet up with a girl who knows I have a high body count and is fascinated by it. The downside is that she will turn either the number or type of infractions into a historical competition. When she does this, I stop taking her seriously. It's incredible, man. Like, women, like, it's so funny. Like, you even see, like, women are always, like, it's weird. Women, they always try to up their body count, right? Women love to show you, hey, look, guys want me. Guys are sexually attracted to me. This just happened to me all the time in Vegas, and they do this on autopilot. When they see a girl checking you out, or if you're, sort of socially dominating a room, all of a sudden they want to pull out their phone. Oh, this guy's texting me, and that guy's texting me. I'm like, sweetheart, like, you're not doing yourself any favors. Like, that doesn't matter. Dude, I used to start telling girls, listen, that doesn't make you more attractive. That doesn't make you more attractive. Dude, Dev used to do that same thing. I used to be like, stop. I'm imagining you eating boogers right now. I said, when you start to brag about this guy or that or whatever, when you try to brag on your sexual experience, like, that's not good. I had to tell her, it's like you're eating boogers. Nothing could be more attractive. Unattractive. All right, let us go to the phone lines. Let us go to Apollo in Pittsburgh. Apollo, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
All right, Donovan, how you doing?
Doing good, brother.
All right, so I wanted to ask one thing. What do you think about what you're saying as far as also with women cheating? And the fact that I feel like I found is that they get shamed by, men and women if they admit to cheating. So a lot of them, even though they do more, I feel like won't admit to it. Whereas men, if we admit to it, it's like, oh, men are dogs, but yet we're still accepted by women, looked at as, you're still kind of like, oh, well, what is it about him? Even though he's cheating,
yeah,
I want to see what's up with him.
Right. Cheating is pre-selection. Cheating is actually post-selection. But this is the thing, man. Women will forgive cheating quicker than they forgive boredom and predictability. If a woman is bored in a relationship, she'll cheat every time. She'll cheat her way out, right? This isn't to say that women want you to cheat. But again, when a man cheats, it verifies the hard way that, okay, I made the right decision sexually. Women don't want men that other women don't want. Unfortunately, cheating hurts their feelings, but it's really, honestly, Outside of flirting with girls or girls flirt with him in front of her, that's really the only way they really know that they've made the right decision. This is fucked up. This is 2021, but that's how it is.
Right, and because I looked at that as any woman, that they've asked me like, oh, why are you divorced? And I've, admitted like, oh, I cheated.
Yep.
It's never cost me hooking up with him. But when I've asked some of them like, oh, have you cheated? Yeah, I'm like, do you tell guys that? Oh, heck no. Because I'm like, why not? Why aren't you being upfront?
Yep.
Oh, because they might not want a good relationship.
Yeah, right. That's how it is, man. And it's funny. It's funny that you say that. And thanks for the call, Apollo. I actually talk about this in, I think it's WOMANESE Volume 2. WOMANESE Volume 2, Chapter 1, when you're out on a date or a meetup with a woman, she asks you, well, how did your last relationship end? Right? Dude, the reason why most women ask, they already know the answer to the question, or they think they know the answer to the question before they ask it. Why did your last relationship end? Well, the reason most relationships end here in America is because the girl cheats her way out. Right? She cheats her way out. That's the way most relationships end. She starts banging somebody else. She branch swings. That's that. Well, when she asks you this, don't tell her, well, my girl cheated on me. No, that's not what you say. When she asks you, how did your last relationship end? I don't want to get into it, but I'll put it to you like this. Wasn't always the best boyfriend, or wasn't always the best husband. Trust me when I tell you, she'll get the point. She'll get the picture. She'll be like, what happened? Listen, you're a smart girl. Do the math. Like, you're going to sit here and make me, come on, right? Women are so much intrigued with guys who can cheat on girls than the opposite because it's post-selection. Pre-selection is powerful. Post-selection is even more powerful. Even more powerful. Let us go to Armando Moreno in the Bay Area. Man, it's been a long time since we have talked, my friend. How you doing?
Indeed. Long time. I've been doing well, man. Hope you're doing well as well.
Yeah.
Just wanted to give a call out here to just touch base with you. It's been a minute. And I wouldn't say that this is a reason per se, but I do feel that it is a strong contributing factor as to why women cheat more than men. And that has to do with their solipsism and the ability for them to get over breakups much quicker than men do. Because as Rolo says, when it comes to romance, us men, we're the true romance, right? And women just kind of play that figure. But again, I wouldn't say that this is a reason per se, but I thought it was important to bring up. Maybe you agree or not.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this question. Why do you think women get over breakups so easily? Why do you think they get over breakups quicker than guys do?
Yeah, I think what I said earlier, I think it has a lot to do with their solipsism.
Well, listen, I agree with you. Listen, I agree with you, but the main reason women get over breakups a lot quicker than men is because they can find sausage a lot more quickly than a man can find tacos. Right? A woman gets
right.
Of course. Listen, this is it. This is why women get over breakups so quickly is because there are always 8 sausages waiting to get stuck in the bun as soon as she decides to go awry. Listen, maybe it has to do with their listen, everybody is solipsistic, and solipsistic means that they're only thinking about it from their perspective. I don't know that has much to do with their cheating. Women cheat more simply because they can. They get away with it, and they're encouraged to. And the smartphone makes it very easy for them to cover it up. Here's another thing, Armando. And thanks for the call, Armando. I appreciate you checking in. Here's another thing. Women will quickly admit. They'll admit, listen, women and men cheat. That's something that they have freely admitted. But one thing that they always admit is that, you know what? Women are a lot better at covering it up, right? So they admit that women are a lot better at covering it up, which means we're not as aware of their cheating. So because they're better at covering it up and making us less aware of their cheating than we are, that, again, stands to reason why they think men cheat more than women. Of course, that's what you think. What's on record, right? Well, just because your boyfriend or husband never caught you doesn't mean you didn't cheat. That's how that goes. Thanks for the call, Armando Moreno. Let us go to Danny in Tulsa, who disagrees with me. Danny, you are on Live with Donovan. Go ahead. Okay.
Cheat will actually sleep with any person, any guy or any woman, that she doesn't have regrets afterwards. When a woman gets regrets afterwards, that's when you start getting the EPAR. For example, if you take 6 Chads and stick them in a room, and 6 fat guys and stick them in the same room, but in a different section, and you tell a woman that no one's going to know about this, but you have an opportunity to sleep with these 6 Chads, and then you swap out the Chads after you put a hood over her head where she can't see, and you switch it up with the fat guys, she will have an adverse reaction after she takes that hood off and sees who she slept with.
Well, I'll tell you this, Danny. She will have she will have an adverse reaction as soon as she puts her hands on the body of the fat guys, right? Because Chads are not fat guys. You understand what I mean? So, well, that
is true,
right?
But you would have to eliminate the
right. Listen, let's assume
the hands part.
Right, I understand. Let's assume that she can't physically tell the difference between a fat guy and a Chad. So, I think what you're telling me, and just correct me if I'm wrong here, is that if you have 12 guys, you got 12 Chads in one section of the house, you've got 6 fat guys in another section of the house. You tell the woman, listen, you're going to be able to sleep, and I'll actually put it to you this way. Let me throw it back on you. What do you think a woman would choose to do? You can sleep with these 6 fat guys, no one will ever find out about it, or you can sleep with these 6 Chads, and people might find out about it. Who do you think she's going to sleep with?
She would choose the Chads because she knows about them.
No, she would choose no, hold on, caller. No, Danny, she would choose the Chads because they're Chads. Listen, I understand what you're saying, but women want their cake and eat it too. Women don't cheat on their husbands and boyfriends with fat guys, unless, of course, they're fat themselves, right? If we're talking about, and a woman's sexual market value has a lot to do with it, right? So if a woman who is a 3 on a scale of 1 to 10 decides to cheat on her husband, she's not going to be able to cheat with 7s, 8s, and 9s and 10s on the guy's side because she doesn't have the SMV. But let's say she's a 3 and her husband's a 4. She's going to cheat with guys who are 5s, right? Women, if they're going to cheat, they're going to cheat up. They're never, ever, ever, ever going to cheat down. This is just not how they're made. I'll give you the last word, Danny. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I understand that completely. I was just trying to give an example on
I like where your head's at,
because I've seen a lot of women do the same thing, and then they have regrets afterwards, and then they come out with the EPAR. Mm-hmm. And
yeah, that's called regret.
You're absolutely.
Yeah, that's called regret EPAR, and that's regret EPAR. That is another realm, but that didn't. See, here's the thing: they only think about the regret EPAR after the fact. But guess what? They still cheated. They still wanted to cheat, and they did. They had the opportunity. Uh-oh, I'm about to get caught. My husband found out. Oh, he EPAR'd me. Guess what? They would not be hollering EPAR if word didn't get back to their husband, right? So now it comes down to getting caught. Yeah. And women are they're good at getting away with cheating. I think we all know that. But I like where your head is at. I like the discussion there. Danny in Tulsa, thank you very much for calling in. Let us go to Aaron in Chicago. Aaron in Chicago, you're on Live with Donovan.
What's up, man?
What's going on?
All right, so I disagree with the first reason that you said, the number one reason, actually. I think women cheat more because they're not held accountable, bro. Because if a woman is going to cheat, she's going to be accepted and people are going to feel bad. Now, I have a small following on Facebook. Most of my audience is women, so I'm not going to say my name. But I asked why women cheat. And people said, because the man didn't change because he didn't have any money.
Let me stop you right there, Aaron. Aaron, let me stop you right there. You said you have a small Facebook following, and your following is mostly women. So you asked women why they cheated, and women told you why they cheated.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Aaron, let me let you in on a little. Aaron, let me let you in on a little secret, my friend. Women are never going to be honest about why they do what they do. They're never going to be honest about why they pick the men they pick. They're never going to be honest about why they cheat. They're never going to be honest about any decision they make. You want to know why? Because if they admit the truth, they reveal unflattering thoughts. They reveal unflattering facts about themselves. What you have to understand is this, Aaron. You can't. Women are never going. And this is not to say that they're bad. This is not an attack on their character. This is just how they're made. And the reason they're made like this, Aaron, is because women don't really have anything except for their purity, their sexuality. They cannot let the world see just how licentious they are. It's literally all they have, right? So when you ask a woman, when you ask women, well, why did you cheat? Well, he didn't make enough money. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. No. Accountability has nothing to do with the reason why a woman cheats, or it has little to do with the reason why a woman cheats. Women cheat because, number one, they get away with it, but the number one reason is because they have opportunity. If women didn't have opportunity, they wouldn't cheat. What say you?
I think it's because they're rewarded and they're understood. They're not shamed for it. When I shame somebody for having a high body count, their answer is because that's the modern woman.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Studies have been around for generations and generations. You're not Galvin Gleason. Just say that.
I'll tell you this, Aaron. It says in the notes here that you disagreed with reason number one. The number one reason they cheat is because they have more opportunity. So do you disagree with the fact that they cheat because they have more opportunity, or are you saying that it's because they're praised and encouraged for it?
I think it's because they're praised and encouraged because it feels liberating, and I think more people are going to accept it, and they're going to look at what the man was doing. He didn't have enough money. He didn't pay attention to you. You told him to stop drinking so much.
Okay. Whoa. Aaron, you're getting in the weeds here, buddy. You're getting in the weeds. Do you think, Aaron, that women have more opportunity to cheat than men do? Yes or no?
Sure.
No. I didn't ask you a sure question. I asked yes or no. Do women have more opportunities to cheat than men do?
Of course.
Okay, well there we go. I think we agree on both points. By the way, I got your voicemails, man. I was actually gonna break those down on the air, probably within the next couple of days. Yeah.
And I want to thank you for making that why all my girlfriends keep cheating on me, because that's actually what I asked, not why women cheat. But I appreciate that, man. I thank you, man.
Aaron in Chicago, checking in from Chi-Town. Let's go to Ryan in Kentucky. Ryan in Kentucky, you're on live with Donovan. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You are on live with Donovan.
Hey, Donovan. Hey, yeah. So Ryan from Covington, and I actually wanted to check in because when the game from Neil Strauss, which we kind of all know and love, was published, I was 19 years old. Luckily, I read it, I lived it, I learned it.
Good.
And of course, yes. And I wanted to call in because I've been a long fan of yours. I'm a patron of yours. I don't really comment all that much, if at all. But I wanted to let a lot of red pill aware guys know where they should be looking for women of value.
Let's do it.
That they would want to be in a relationship with. So I chose to get married. It was a decision that I did not think I would make. But I met a woman, only been with one guy before me, period. Graduated college without getting herself degraded. And what I found is the homeschool community, this sounds insane, but I'm telling you the truth here. The homeschool community, if you're a red pill aware man, you want to find a woman in her early 20s or late, 18 to 24 who has not been with many guys, homeschool community. That's where we need to look. That is where you can find the right women.
Ryan, listen, I think I might agree with you. I had never thought of that before. Because this doesn't mean
until I married one.
Well, here's the thing. Now, listen. I agree with you 100%. I think you are. I think that the quality of women who are homeschooled are definitely going to be higher quality on average than girls who go into the public school system and don't go to college, right? That doesn't mean that there aren't some girls who are homeschooled that have their ways about them, but I agree with you.
Of course.
Listen, I agree with you though. Being and parents who homeschool their kids are traditional families with traditional values. Am I wrong?
Yes. Absolutely correct. Donovan, that's all I had to say. Thank you so much for what you do. And listen, men out there, you want a wife, look in the homeschool community.
Okay. That might be something that I explore. That might be something I explore a little bit later on, man. I might actually, dude, that might actually be, dude, I might have to get someone on from the homeschool community to verify, hey man, like is this true? Huh. That's interesting. Uh-oh, Red Pill Mike totally disagrees. And if I have to explain why, then you are not red-pilled. Is there something I'm missing? I'm trying to think critically on the air here. Maybe there's a hole there somewhere. It sounds like on its face, it sounds like it could make sense. Let me just do the math here. So they're I don't know. The only way is if they are not, is if they don't have the internet. If they're homeschooled and don't have the internet, that's God Almighty, that's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. That's a really. I would love to get Red Pill Mike's take on why he disagrees with that, because it kind of makes sense to me. It kind of makes sense. Like just again, like stay with me here, guys. So a little girl is born, right? Her parents are traditional, whether they're religious or not. And listen, most traditional families, most conservative families are religious. I am politically conservative myself, but I'm also not really that religious, right? A lot of people think that conservatism goes hand in hand with religion. I disagree. I am as red as they come. I'm as conservative as they come, but I don't know, like I'm bordering on like agnostic. I don't want to call myself an atheist yet, but it's, God, the older I get, the harder it becomes to believe that there is a God. Who knows? Maybe on my deathbed I can allow myself to believe it, but that's neither here nor there. But I can't imagine what the hole would be, right? Like, the only flaw in that I can think of is if she has the internet. If she has access to internet and a smartphone. Oh, BK from the Rocky says some homeschoolers are like preacher's kids. When they hit the outside world, they go buck wild. Yeah. That is weird. I don't really know what to think of that, man. I really don't. It makes sense, but I can't really, I mean, listen, I'm sure that there are some kids, I'm sure that there are some adult film stars, female adult film stars that were homeschooled, right? Listen, a lot of adult film stars, I think that a lot of female adult film stars probably were raised in conservative Christian homes, right? Traditionally, like a lot of adult film stars, oh yeah, grew up in a strict household. Very, very rarely, not that I've seen, not that, I mean, I don't know if there's like a podcast of interviews with female adult film stars, although Myron, look, Fresh and Fit seems to be headed in that direction. But anything this is throughout my entire life, anytime you hear anything about the childhood of a female adult film star, they grew up in a very strict household, very regimented, military family, religious family, conservative family. And when she leaves home, she goes buck wild. She goes absolutely buck wild. You know what? I'm going to try something here. Nah, I'm not going to do that. I think I might have figured something out here. Nope, that's not it. Bear with me a second, guys. Nope, that's not it. I think I might have figured out a problem here, an issue. Never mind. I'll do it another time. No, is that it? Nope, that's not it. Whatever. I'd love to figure that out, man. I'd love to figure that out. Oh, well, here we are. We got a few people on the line. Let us start with Red Pill Mike. Red Pill Mike, listen, what is the flaw in looking for a wife in the homeschool community?
Because you're still looking for a statistical anomaly.
Oh,
and
gotcha.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm going to disconnect from my Wi-Fi because it's terrible.
Okay.
You'll be able to
good.
hear me better. 1 second. I apologize.
I can actually hear you pretty good, man.
Okay. I don't know if that worked or not. No,
I can hear you
Yeah,
just
it
fine.
sounds good on paper. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you okay. I could hear you from the start, man. You got it.
Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, it sounds good on paper because ideally it's supposed to be right on paper. And, when you and I grew up, homeschooling wasn't a big thing.
Right.
It started to get more popular. It started to get more popular with the millennials.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a lot of experience with anyone that was homeschooled until I got older. And what I started figuring out, what this guy's talking about, what he doesn't realize is it worked for him, but he's still the statistical anomaly.
Okay. All right.
When I would go out and I would do what he's talking about, because I've been there, I did it too. Okay. I did the PUH shit for many, many years. Okay. When I would go out and I would meet younger girls and get to talking to them, when I would stumble upon one that when I started, hey, where'd you go to school? Oh, I was homeschooled. Oh, really? The longer they were homeschooled, and then if they did go off to college, if they were single,
oh boy,
still at that time, and they'd been homeschooled all the way through their schooling, didn't went off to college. Oh my God, they were the biggest sluts.
Yep.
And I'm not
that's
just
where it goes.
I'm
Listen,
not just saying this.
Well, that's where it goes off the rails, right? If a girl is home, listen, any girl who goes off to college is going to sleep around. It doesn't matter how she was raised. If she was raised in a Christian home, liberal home, it doesn't matter. College ruins women. So, listen, you can homeschool a girl. Sending her off to college is quite literally undoing all of the progress.
Right, exactly. And I had to explain this to a friend of mine. He homeschools all of his kids, and his kids are very sheltered. And I was standing in his kitchen one day, and we were having some discussion about red pill type things.
Yeah.
And he actually told his oldest son to look for a girl that had been homeschooled. And when he left the room, I looked at his wife and said, please tell him to retract that. He is leading his son down the wrong path. And I explained to her why.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And her response to me was, well, that doesn't seem to speak very well for my daughter. I said, that's totally up to y'all.
Yeah.
Right. I go, but you got to realize once she goes off to college, there's not going to be a whole lot y'all can do. I go, I know you think you're doing the right thing, but when she turns 18, it's, there's not a lot you can do. But no, I used to meet girls out wherever that were homeschooled. When I found out they were homeschooled, of course I would nag them and fuck with them.
Yeah.
And I'd say, oh, the typical stuff. Oh, you're probably really sheltered. You probably haven't seen a lot, blah, 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 blah. As soon as I did that crap, they wanted to prove to me how unsheltered they were.
Oh,
and they were the easiest to smash.
There it is. That should be a pickup line for a girl, right? Like, hey, my name's Hannah, and I was homeschooled. Oh, really? What's your name? Like, or really?
Yeah, right.
That's funny.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to say that Ryan or whatever his name was is illogical or idiotic or anything. Sure. I'm not trying to insult his intelligence.
Right.
I think he just found something that actually worked for him, and for some reason he thought that because it worked for him, that it's the be all end all. And in all honesty, I don't know. I mean, there is a slight possibility he's had a little bit better luck. I'm just telling you from my experience. That's the first thing I learned when I started meeting girls that were homeschooled. As soon as I found that out, I was like, okay, cha-ching, I just got to keep talking to her. As long as I don't screw up, I'm probably going to be able to take her home and smash her tonight. You know what I mean? And it worked damn near every time.
Red Pill Mike ruining these girls who were homeschooled. So if you met a girl who was homeschooled and she talks about her douchebag of an ex-boyfriend, ex-fling named Mike when she was in Texas, you guys can thank Red Pill Mike for ruining that girl. Mike, thanks for calling, man. I appreciate it.
All right.
Red Pill Mike, listen, I agree. Ryan was talking about the statistical anomaly. That being said, I can't disagree with, listen, even though it is a statistical anomaly, it is your chances of having, I guess, a better relationship with an American woman in America is if she was homeschooled. I can't really... And again, we don't want to tell guys to all, never look for the, just like Mike said, never look for the exception to the rule. Never try to look for the one-offs, right? But by the same token, you're going to have better luck. Now, here's the thing. If you're going to go after these homeschooled girls, you're going to have to go after them for marriage. You can't go after them to smash them, because guess what? Dad's not having that. As long as she doesn't go off to college, like, listen, if a girl is homeschooled and she lives at home with mom and dad until the day she's married, then yeah, you got it. All right, let's go to Joey in Florida. Joey in Florida, you're on Live with Donovan.
Hey, Donovan, it's Joey in Tampa. How are you?
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm not sure how relevant this is, but have you heard of a male adult film star named Rocco Siffredi?
I think Kevin told me about, I think he related a story on one of his, I think it was Rocco something, but that, I mean, okay. Well, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's a documentary and on him on Netflix, but I'm not sure how relevant it is, but I do think that there is eventually a point where a man can collect so many bodies to the point where he ends up kind of feeling what women feel.
Yeah.
When they have like this worthless feeling, but I think it takes several hundreds, if not thousands.
Oh yes.
Because he's been in the industry for 30 years before he retired.
Wow.
And he's like married with kids. He's been with 5,000 different women and done 1,500 scenes.
Jesus Christ.
So, right. It would take a drastic amount to that extent. And he got to a point where he retired because it was affecting his family and he kind of felt that worthless feeling.
Yeah.
Because that's all he did and he didn't pay enough. But how, I mean, look, no man is ever going to collect that many bodies to get to that point. So, so, I mean, it would take a woman like 10 to 20 before she really began feeling what he felt after 1,000.
There you go. And that's the difference.
I mean,
that's how long, like, that's how short it was, right? It's like, and it does not take very many bodies to ruin a woman, man. But I agree with you on that. I think, especially because Rocco was in the business, and I'll put it to you this way, Joey, and I'll bounce this off you and see what you think. I'll put it to you this way, man. If a man, let's say a man racks up 5,000 bodies who is not a porn star, okay? Let's say the man has to seduce the women, he has to run game, he has to, do different activities, etc., etc. If that guy sleeps with 5,000 women, that would obviously take a long time. I don't think he has the feeling of worthlessness that Rocco Siffredi has, because Rocco just had women. Don't get me wrong. It does take talent for a man to be a porn star. Dude, you have to have sex when you don't feel like having sex. Like, dude, like I've heard stories where every man wants to be a porn star. But, dude, I've talked to guys who have done scenes, and they're like, dude, it's not as much fun as it may seem. Then you got guys like Sterling Cooper is like, listen, yeah, I love it. It is what it is. But I think when you are required to actually work for the sexual interaction, that is much more fulfilling than punching a time clock, banging 5 chicks, and then going home to your family. At that point, I can imagine where it starts to really fuck with your psyche.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I do think that if you collect that many bodies, you still will end up having that feeling. But if you have to, I mean, if you collect 5,000 and each one of them was earned, you have to, you probably would feel like less worthless than Rocco would,
right?
Supposedly.
Right. Because they weren't just put in front of him.
So, but yeah, for sure.
Listen, I'm going to tell you what, dude. I'm going to watch that. I'm going to watch that Netflix. It's called Rocco on Netflix. So I'm going to check it out. I'm definitely going to check that out. That sounds
and well, just so you know, it's not very it's not just a simple documentary. It definitely is very graphic and all that. But so just I don't think that matters. But
just
understand that it's not.
This is not. Listen, this is not a documentary we can watch when Olivia comes over. Yeah,
it's pretty much as far as you can get to porn without it being true porn.
Okay, very good. Joey in Tampa, I
So, yeah.
greatly appreciate the call, man. Thank you very, very much. Jonathan in California says that he was homeschooled and he can vouch for what Ryan in Kentucky said. What you got for me, Jonathan?
Hey, Donovan. Remember me? Called a few times.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. This was Bell. You haven't called in a while.
Yeah. I called a few times, but excuse me. I just wanted to. When I heard you, the caller talking about homeschooled and stuff, I just wanted to call in because I just turned 36, so I'm literally like right along the millennial Generation X when homeschooling was just first started.
Yeah.
And I went to a homeschool association, which we had a class of like 26 people, and it was done at people's houses. And out of, I think there was like maybe 10 or 12 women out of that group. And I've only kept in contact with maybe about 6 of them. But 5 out of the 6 of those ladies are in long-term marriages.
Wow.
I don't know, obviously, what Red Pill Mike said about them going to college and sleeping around and stuff. I don't know, obviously, if they did that or not, but I wanted to vouch and say that there's a higher percentage of being able to find a good quality woman amongst the homeschooling community. Yeah, maybe the women.
I had no idea, man. And listen, I will say this, Jonathan. I think we can all agree that it doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter if you go. It doesn't matter if you're homeschooled and you go to college. If you're homeschooled and you go to college, you're done. That's it. You're ruined. But if you are homeschooled and you live at home until you are married, I think that's a solid deal for a guy. I really do. I really do.
That's exactly right, because my sister stayed at home living with my parents and stuff until she graduated. And when she graduated, she was kind of dating someone long distance.
Okay.
She then moved out there to visit him, and she eventually married him, and they've been married for 11 years.
What?
So,
wait, hold on. So your sister did this, and they've been married for 11 years. How many? Do they have any children?
They have 3 kids.
Wow, and they're still married. Wow. And you want to know something, John? Let me ask you one more question before I let you go, Jonathan. Have you looked?
Sure.
Have you looked in the homeschool community for a mate, or is that just something Is that something that's not going to happen? Like what? Like where are you at on that? Oh shit! I lost camera 1. Hang on.
For me, yeah, definitely. I've definitely looked in the homeschooling community. However, when I was looking, I'm kind of like a red pill monk or MGTOW type of thing. I'm kind of like in between it.
Okay.
But when I was looking, yeah, I definitely was looking in the homeschooling community, and I found really great, amazing women, except that back then I wasn't red pilled. I was very blue pilled, and women obviously walked all over me, used me for my money, everything, and I was just being a simp to them. It wasn't until I got to around 26, 27 when I started learning about red pill and stuff that I actually started changing my trajectory. And of course, that change kind of like, what I want in life, and kind of like more focusing on me, focusing on me being successful in my life and stuff. And it's, for me, that's kind of where I want to go. If a lady, a great, amazing lady comes into my life, then I will consider that. But I'm kind of like a monk red pill. I'll date around, I'll hang out, that type of thing. But you have a higher chance at having a good, successful, long-term relationship from someone there. Yeah, they might.
Okay.
They might, still play around and have sex and all that type of stuff, but you have a higher probability, and that's all I wanted to say.
Jonathan in California checking in. That's the second person who's vouched. Let's go to Brendan in North Carolina, who says he dated a homeschooled girl. What was your experience like dating the homeschool girl, Brendan?
Well, thank you for letting me on. This is kind of like the first time I actually got on with you guys. So
okay.
Kudos to that. And thank you for the knowledge, man. I've been watching you for about a year or two or so. But
good, thank you. I
back
appreciate
to
the support.
Topic. I actually dated a homeschool girl. This was before I actually moved to Arizona.
Okay.
A couple years back, and I mean, it was a great experience. I mean, the family loved me. They loved me. I mean, she wasn't an angry, bitter, typical American girl. Put it like that. You know?
Okay. All right.
And for the most part, it really worked out. The only reason we broke up was I moved to Arizona. But other than that, I mean, goddamn, fucking everything. Submissive, loving. I come home, she cooks, she cleans, wash my drawers. I don't know a lot of women that do that nowadays. You know?
Wow.
So I mean, it was a good experience. You know, and it was more of a traditional feminine role, not that old masculine do as I say, pay the bills and right. Like nah. It was more like, hey, you home? Let me wash your clothes. Hey, you home? Let me, give you a blow job. I can't really say what I want to say, but.
Wow. Brendan, listen, listen, man, I appreciate the call. Listen, man, everybody who's called in, is vouching for this red pill, for this homeschool community. Ryan in Kentucky is back on the line. He says that RPM is wrong. All right, tell me why he's wrong, Ryan.
Hey, Donovan. So I'm a big fan of Red Pill Mike generally, but what he is kind of missing in what he said is there are two, generally speaking, types of homeschool women.
Oh.
One of them had a strong father figure and the other didn't. So when it comes to the choice to homeschool, you have to look at it. Yes.
Okay.
Right.
And you know what?
Sense.
I think that RPM would agree. I think that RPM would agree that if a girl was homeschooled in a single mother household, probably not a good idea to put too much stock in her. So the three factors of this, tell me if you agree with this, Ryan. Listen, being homeschooled, that's number one. But if she was homeschooled, had a strong father at home, and didn't go to college, I think that is a recipe for a more favorable outcomes. Not the golden goose, but if ever there was a better than average chance to make a relationship with an American woman in America work, I think those three factors have to be in place. What say you?
Yes, I completely agree. And for example, in my own case, met her father, very strong man.
Good.
Instant respect between the both of us.
Good.
Very, very, I could not ask for a better experience.
Good.
But I would never have thought myself in the position. And then I realized later, oh, wait a minute, there's a whole community of these women out there just looking for a strong man to lead them. And what I'm encouraging your audience to do, because you do great work and because there's a lot of good men who want relationships in your audience, they should kind of point their search toward that area.
Okay.
It's not perfect. Nothing is.
No, I agree. But listen, it's not perfect, but it's a hell of a lot better than the alternative. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, of course. You want to drag some slut out of a club, or do you want to get married? Like, if you want to get married, you better be looking at homeschoolers.
Ryan in
All right,
Kentucky,
Donovan,
man.
have a great night.
Ryan in Kentucky, man, shook the whole show. Dude, I swear to God, man. Listen, I say this all the time. I learn as much from you guys as you guys learn from me. You guys always thank me for the knowledge, and I'm appreciative of that. But every once in a while, man, somebody will drop some serious knowledge or say some shit that I have never even considered before. And before I bring Caleb from Vermont in, now that I'm thinking about it, this is going to really blow you guys away here. Because a long time ago, I wrote an article on Return of Kings. It was entitled A Tale of Two Unicorns. And one such unicorn was the reason I knew her is because I was 2021 and she was 16, and she was a part of a huge family. We actually called them the Partridge family. Dude, big time church family. Everybody knew them. Dude, their father, Tony, good, strong, masculine man. Her mother's name was Grace. A good, feminine woman, docile, took care of the kids. Excellent mother. Their oldest daughter, I'm not going to say her name, dude, beautiful girl. Dude, this is probably one of the most naturally beautiful people I've ever seen in my life. She was just as fun, playful, and feminine as can be. They were homeschooled. All of them were homeschooled, okay? Including the oldest daughter. She lived with her family until she got married. And she got married to a guy we all knew. He had just graduated from college, right? We used to call him McDiesel because he played football at a North Carolina State Division I school, had a great degree, great career, did the college thing. So he's 22, 23 years old. He comes back to the youth group. Him and this girl start dating. The rest is history. Dude, I think they got like 7 kids. And every time I looked at her Facebook feed, there's no Facebook whoring. It's her, dude, and it's funny. She's always posting pictures of coupons, pictures of recipes. And the one funny thing that she used to do is she used to post pictures of weird positions her kids would fall asleep in. She's a lot of young kids, and like her kids would like fall asleep on the stairs or fall asleep in the kitchen somewhere, and it would have us all rolling. But she was homeschooled. It never occurred to me that that's the main reason. She was homeschooled. She did not go to college. This is incredible. Okay, all right, let us go to Caleb in Vermont. Caleb in Vermont, you're on Live with Donovan.
Hey, man, just so can you hear me correctly?
Yeah, absolutely. I got you loud and clear.
Awesome, cool. So I wanted to kind of touch base on something that I haven't been listening to the whole podcast. I just like hopped in 15, 20 minutes ago, wanted to call. With the girls cheating and stuff, the emotional cheating that they do with best friends or quote unquote best friends. Like, I'm coming from the experience, like the side of that best friend, and I've been decently good friends to a handful of women, and you know, you'd put everything on the line for this one person, but if you're taking care of all of the needs and all of the rules of a boyfriend while this person still has a boyfriend, I call bullshit. I say that is cheating.
Yep.
And I say you have a second boyfriend. I'm not saying that like guys and girls can't be friends. I'm aware of like the implications on both sides. I understand that there are boundaries, but like,
yeah, guys and girls cannot. Listen. Let me cut you off right there. Guys and girls can be friends, Caleb. It's never a good idea. It's never a good idea. The only person who benefits from an opposite sex friendship is the girl, because it's almost always the guy who catches feelings for the girl.
And like, regardless of like catching the feelings, it's that this person is like taking the role of caretaker. It's not friend. I think that their understanding of friend is like, and not to like push buttons, but I think it's batshit crazy on a lot of these, because it's like,
well, it's not really batshit crazy. Well, here, let me tell you this, Caleb, because women, check this out. Girls are aware of this, dude. Girls who are quote unquote best friends with guys. Girls are never best friends with guys who don't want to fuck them. Okay, they're just not. Girls will never say, "Oh, Caleb is my best friend in the world." You know, Caleb wants to fuck you, right? Yeah, I know, but it's not like that. No, if a guy doesn't want to bang a girl, girls are never interested in being besties with guys who don't want to bang him. You want to know why? Because guys who don't want to bang him won't do anything for him, because they what, class? Don't want to bang him.
No, and I'm completely on par with that. Like, I hear that. And I don't know, like where does the guy who's been the best friend, where does he go? I mean, I know what I've done. I've cut this person off completely. I told them that regardless of like money and a bunch of other physical or emotional things, I felt used.
Yeah.
And then I'm cutting this person off.
Yep.
And then it took like 30 minutes of texting for her to just understand that boundary. And then I'm like, I need you to stop arguing with me. This is how I feel. And this is the evidence that I'm presenting. So like, goodbye.
Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something, Caleb. Let me ask you something. So this girl that you were best friends with was having sex with her boyfriend, but she was getting all the other stuff from you. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, but it was more of a gauntlet of she keeps on going for objectively fuckboys.
Yeah, this is
like me and you. Anybody else in the room would look at this person and be like, "You're kidding, right?"
Yeah,
like,
Caleb,
this is what you're bringing home to Thanksgiving.
Yeah, listen, Caleb, check it out. Listen, welcome to women, dude. Like, welcome to women, homie. Like this, like, dude, this is how it is. Number one, number two, she didn't cheat. If you didn't fuck her, she did not cheat. That's not like, okay, so you gave her boyfriend benefits without fucking her. That's not cheating. And you want to know something? Her boyfriend, actually, check this out. You want to know who your real best friend is? It's her boyfriend. Because her boyfriend just gets to fuck her while you do all the things that he won't do. That's a sweet deal for the both of them.
I do all the heavy lifting.
Yeah, that's a sweet. See, what essentially is happening here, Caleb, is you're picking this girl up for the prom. You're at her house. You guys take pictures. You put on each other's corsages. You take pictures. You rent the limo. You drive her. You drive her to school for the prom. You dance with her. You wine and dine. You take pictures. You get into the limo. You drive to the hotel room. She gets out and goes and gets fucked by her boyfriend at the hotel. This is what you are doing. So for you to characterize what you're doing for this girl as cheating, you're doing this to make yourself feel better about the fact that you've been friend zoned. Neither her or her boyfriend considers that to be cheating. I can promise you that. Her boyfriend's like, oh man, this is great. I don't have to listen to her yammer on and on about this guy or that or whatever the fuck she's doing. I just get to fuck her and the other guy gets to pick up the tab. So the answer to your question is, where do we go? Where does a man go after being friend zoned? Here we go. Do not become friends with women, Caleb. Do not become friends with women. Men and women can be friends. It is never a good idea, and it is never a good deal for the guy. I'll give you the last word.
Definitely. No, I mean, I see that, but it's taken me like, at least with this girl, it's taken me a full fucking year to just be like,
it sucks, doesn't it? But
I don't
listen,
have a life. I can't go out and date other people because I'm literally anxiously waiting for her to give the 9 a.m. text. It's like, hey, are you hungry? Do you know what to eat? It's like, bro.
Yeah.
I'm so glad to be awoken from that and just be like, we're not friends anymore.
Yeah, that's it.
I know you.
Yeah.
You know me.
That's it.
But
That's
we're
it.
not friends.
Yeah, listen, my advice to you, cut off all contact with her. Because what you're going through, believe it or not, even though you weren't fucking her, this is like the feelings that you're feeling now are the feelings of a breakup. Right now you are in the grieving process. The way you feel right now is exactly the way I feel when I got dumped or I left a relationship that I didn't necessarily want to leave. Like, you are having those breakup feelings. You are having those pangs. It's hard to sleep. It's hard to eat. You can't think about anything. Just listen. I know it's hard to hear. Time does heal all wounds, but what you need to do is completely cut this girl off. Dude, block her number, block her on all social media.
Real women.
Say what?
I need to find real women and not be friends with them.
There you go.
And if I feel like they're fucking trying to friend zone me, run the fuck away.
There it is. There it is. Caleb in Vermont, I appreciate you calling, and I appreciate your candor and honesty. All right, we're going to take two more calls. Jesse in Kentucky is going to all right, let's go to John in Kentucky. Well, 3 Kentucky callers today. John in Kentucky, you're on live at Donovan. Go ahead.
Hey, Donovan, I went on a date with a former homeschooled Christian female a couple months ago, and it kind of fizzled out. And I took her out shooting a couple times in my backyard. I got a gun range, and she cooked dinner for me a few times. But somehow we got on the topic of just kind of, but I was just kind of, assuming 25, not married, no kids, that, she has some type of history, and came to find out that she claimed to still be a virgin, and I couldn't believe it. I'm not going to buy it.
Right.
Yeah. And this, yeah, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like 25, you're not married, you're average, you don't have no kids. It's like, what's going on?
Yeah, what's wrong?
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, good. Listen, way to sniff that out, because if you're a virgin and you were homeschooled and you're even half decent looking, you'd be scooped up by now. Like, you'd have been married by now. So good, definitely a good call on that.
I was in the military, and I had a girlfriend cheat on me when I was deployed over in Iraq in 2005. And
Sure.
she was in government. She was in a jail, and I'm just here to tell all the guys here that, and this goes for a lot of military vets. Females in the military probably get turned out worse than females in college, just because of
the sheer abundance of thirst.
Missouri to like a California 9 when you're overseas long enough. And that goes for police departments too. If she's skinny and takes a bath and she's cute and she's on the department, she's getting turned out. It's just the way it is.
Okay. Thank you for the call and the wisdom, John.
Yeah, grateful.
Yeah, I think it and it's funny because that doesn't really get enough run in this community, right? We talk about don't send the girl off to college, sorority. Listen, man, if you are ever in the military, dude, I think you could probably rack up a body count higher a lot quicker in the military than even in college. Think Amber Barnett from Love Is Blind. Wonder how that's working out. I would love to see a reality show following these couples, right? Amber Barnett, Damien and Giannina, right? I'd love to see how that worked out. Jessica and Mark. I can't wait for season 2, man. Season 2 is going to be awesome. All right, final call of the night. Let us go to Jesse in Kentucky. Oh, Jesse, look, you're Ryan's wife.
Yes, sir. That's me.
All right, good stuff. What you got?
So I just wanted to call and give a little bit of the perspective of somebody who grew up homeschooled.
Okay.
And I think that my husband made a great point. It's really...
Who are you on the phone with?
Donovan. What? So we love watching your show together. And I think that the biggest difference that I've seen among my girlfriends that I grew up with, is the difference in what they're taught to value. And for me, I had a very strong father figure. And so I was taught to value purity and to value, things that make me feminine and a woman.
Right.
And I think that the difference is with some people who maybe didn't turn out the same way is, there's a lack of value that they have in themselves. And I think, for any women who are listening, I know there's women who listen to your show, that's something that is very important for women to understand, is that they need to understand their value, but also to have an example of a loving family and parents where my mother was very feminine. She was at home. She, took care of us and she was, nurturing and in that role. And I think that that's something that kind of makes the homeschool community a little bit.
Let me ask you something, Jesse. What's the difference? Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
So obviously, it appears you turned out to be one of the good ones. Obviously, not every homeschooled girl ends up like you do. What are some of the factors involved? What is the difference between women like you and women like who were homeschooled who don't turn out so good? Women who end up turning out like average American women.
Well, I think one of the big differences is when, as you guys were talking about, when women who are homeschooled leave home and they don't have that kind of solid foundation of seeing what a healthy relationship can look like.
Okay.
With the roles as they are.
So they need a mom
and
dad.
They tend to go out to the store and buy the propaganda.
Okay, gotcha. Are there girls that are homeschooled by single moms?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
But I think too, there are families who the mom kind of made the decision to homeschool and the dad doesn't go along with it, and that's tough. And I don't think that winds up well. But I think when it's something that both parents are kind of unified in the decision on and really guide their families forward there, I think that's a much more consistent recipe for success.
Good stuff. Jesse in Kentucky, thanks for calling the show. Ryan's wife, Ryan in Kentucky. So there you go, man. God, I would never ever have thought or considered. I would never have thought that, man. I mean, and again, I'm not looking to get married. I'm not looking to have kids. So my antennas aren't up. but it never occurred to me, ever occurred to me that the homeschool community, listen, it's not perfect, but they're turning out girls who appear to be more suitable for long-term traditional relationships. $10 super chat from Sunny Bravo says, great effing title. Appreciate that. Josh Jericho, $50 super chat says, women constantly say there's no difference between a man and a woman having a high body count, but when I ask why women always lie about their number if there's nothing wrong with it, silence. Hashtag crickets. Travaris Wiley, $20, says, this has been going on way before social media and cell phones. Remember the old saying, he looks like the milkman to me. Real talk. Real talk. All right, Dev, you can hang up now. It's all good. Stephen Ortiz, $5, says, think of the pastor's daughter when it comes to homeschool girls. Maybe there might be some similarities. If listen, the only way, like I was saying to I forgot the guy's name, not Ryan, but the other guy. God, the guy in California, Jonathan in California. Like I was saying, it might not even been him. The formula for the how can I put this? For the most favorable, to have a chance, to have the best shot at the most favorable outcome for a homeschooled girl is she has to be homeschooled, number one. Number two, she cannot go to college. Number three, she must live at home with mom and dad until she gets married. And number four, she got to be raised in a two-parent home where dad is the strong masculine leader and mom is the feminine, docile caretaker. I think that's the way it has to be. I think listen, all girls are the same when they get to a college campus. They all get turned out. Josh Nelson, $5, says, I work with a homeschooled big-booed redhead, and yeah, she's made her rounds in the office. I'll bet you, Josh, she probably went to college. Amar Kamani, $5, says, seen many Orthodox Russian women in Washington. They go to school with their brothers and getting married to guys in their early 20s, and I think they're virgins. Maybe. Adric Perez, $5, says, are nerds still a better pick? Of course. She at least a 5.5. Yeah, right. The Protector, $10, says, homeschooled kids are church kids. The church creates more freaks than anywhere else. I was homeschooled. You would be stunned at how many people lost the V literally in a church. No, I disagree, The Protector. Well, I don't know. Listen, homeschooled girls often go to church, right? And I think just about all of them do. But if you have a strong, protective father who and again, in that article, dude, I used to pick up her brothers to go play football. They did not allow me to be in the same room as their daughters. Like I'd come there to pick them up. I forgot what their brother, one's name was actually Josh. What was the other kid's name? But I used to come there to pick, dude, it was like 9 kids, right? And I remember I came in, I'm shaking Tony's hand. Dude, I love Tony. Tony loves me. And Tony's like, yeah, you got to wait here. I'm like, okay. And so I came back out. Oh, Josh and Tim, those are their two brothers' names. Yeah, they don't let their daughters in the same room. That's the way it has to be. So in that regard, I think, listen, man, I don't think you can say homeschooled girls are the same as church girls, only if they have strong protective fathers who lay down rules like that. To me, that's incredible. That's incredible. I like where you're at. I see where you're going, but any parent that makes the decision to homeschool their kids has to do it, particularly with their daughters, has to do it with the purpose in mind to protect the chastity of their daughters. That's the reason they have to do it. Dude, the public school system ruins people, ruins kids, ruins children. Ruins children. Fastback GT says, Sharpe moved to Northwest Florida. Yeah, that's a negative, Ghost Rider. I am not moving anywhere east of the Mississippi or south of the Mason-Dixon line. I am not, no. Devin in the chat says, if you're a big fan of Love is Blind, then I'm happy to report that Barnett and Amber are still married as of January 19th of 2021. Okay, all right. Red Pill Mike says the outlying factor is a strong nuclear family, so the homeschool stance is a moot point. Okay. If the girl is raised in a strong nuclear family and she's homeschooled and she doesn't go off to college, I think, listen, your odds are better with those girls than girls that go to public school systems raised by single mothers that go off to college. Yeah. Yeah. My thanks to all of my callers, all of my super chatters. Thank you guys very, very much. Thank you most of all to Ryan in Kentucky, who took this conversation in completely another direction. I always like the shows where I learn something or discover something that I did not expect to learn or discover. I love being able to, be exposed to things that I'm not really too aware of. So, Ryan in Kentucky, you get in hockey, you get one of the 3 stars. Jesus Medina, $5. Appreciate that. Just going through all my super chats. Tony Acasio, Stephen Ortiz, Red Pill Mike, Sandy Bravo, Josh Jericho, Traveris Wiley, Josh Nelson, Amar Kermani, and Adric Perez, and The Protector. Thank you all very much for your super chats. That's going to do it for this edition of TSR Primetime. I will see you guys probably tomorrow at about 7:30. Same bat time, same bat channel, of course, because of bowling week. Great show tonight, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Get thousands of hours of content not found anywhere on patreon.com/Donovan Sharpe. Link in description.